What is energy? Energy is simply the ability to do work. Now, in other words, this means that a body which is capable of doing work possesses energy. Now, in most cases, energy can be classified in terms of mechanical energy, heat energy, light energy, electrical energy, solar energy, and so on and so forth. But there are basically two types of energy, and these are kinetic energy and potential energy. Now, what exactly is kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is simply that energy that is possessed by a body that is in motion. So any body, whether it's a car, whether it's somebody that is running, as long as this body is in motion, it possesses what we call kinetic energy. Now, what is potential energy? Potential energy is simply the energy that is possessed by a body due to its position or due to its arrangement of component parts. Now, as far as potential energy is concerned, it is in various forms. So, for example, if we have a pendulum bob that is suspended, on a string in air, it means that it has energy because it can easily do work by falling to the ground. Now, because this pendulum bob is positioned in the Earth's gravitational field, its positioning due to the Earth's gravitational field makes its energy to be described as gravitational potential energy. Let's look at another kind of potential energy. Let's look at an atom or an electron that is, let's look at an electron or a charged particle that is in the electric field. Now, this charged particle is in an electric field, and therefore, as a result of its position, it's going to possess a certain form of potential energy. This potential energy it possesses is what we call is called the electrical potential energy. We shall look more into the electrical potential energy a little bit later. Likewise, looking at a stretched bow or a stretched bow string, its potential energy is as a result of the elastic properties of the string. So, because its potential energy is as a result of the elastic properties of the string, we call this form of potential energy the elastic potential energy. Now, to cut the long story short, as far as this video is concerned, we are going to concern ourselves with the gravitational potential energy. This is Kisembo Academy, and thanks for tuning in. The formula for gravitational potential energy, therefore, is equal to mass times gravity times the height. It means that a body that is within the Earth's gravitational field at a certain height h, its potential energy will be equal to its mass times the gravitational potential times gravity, which is a constant, which is 10, times height. The height is always in meters. It's supposed to be in meters. The mass in kilograms, the gravity in meters per second squared, for us to be able to get its potential energy in joules. Then for kinetic energy, the formula for kinetic energy is a half times mass times velocity squared. So if a body is in motion and it is running at a certain velocity v, then its kinetic energy will be given by a half times its mass times its velocity squared. The velocity has to be in meters per second, the mass has to be in kilograms, so that we're able to get the kinetic energy in joules. In this example, we are being required to calculate the potential energy required when a stone of mass 2 kilograms falls through a height of 4 meters. So here, potential energy is going to be equal to the mass times gravity times height. The mass of this is 2 kilograms, so it's going to be 2 times the gravity, which is 10, times the height, and the height is 4 meters. So it means this is going to become 80 joules. Calculate the kinetic energy of a 2 kilogram mass trolley at 400 meters per second. We shall put the formula for kinetic energy right away. Kinetic energy is going to be equal to a half times mass times velocity squared. This is going to be a half times the mass, which is 2, times velocity squared. Now the velocity of this thing is 400 meters per second. So it's 400 meters per second. This is squared. So our answer is going to be 16. A stone is projected with a velocity of 20 meters per second. Calculate its mass if it has a kinetic energy of 40 joules. So we know that kinetic energy is going to be equal to a half times mass times velocity squared. I have mv squared. The kinetic energy of this, they are telling us that it's having 40 joules kinetic energy. So it's going to be 40 is going to be equal to a half times the mass. The mass is what we are looking for because it's what is being required, times mass times velocity squared. Now it's being projected with a velocity of 20 meters per second, so it is 20 squared. So we simply make m the subject of the formula. So when we multiply 2 on both sides, here times 2, this 2 cancels with that 2, you remain with that squared. 20 squared is going to be 400 squared, so it's going to become, it's going to be 400, so it's going to be 400. M is going to be 2 times 40, which is 8. Divide both sides by 400. And our value of M is going to be 0.2 kilograms. This brings us to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. For more of these videos, simply subscribe and please remember to share this video. For Kisembo Academy, this is Arnold Ranga Kuramya.